Top of it. Question. Have men truly become too sassy and classy to be seen as a premier leader? Has attention really become the new drug that destroys men's morals, principles, and integrity? We will get into all of that and more right after this.
Squee bop, dee dop, she dop, ooh. Yeah, watch the duty. We got the late night shift live. Yeah, it's the late night shift live. It's the late night shift live. Yeah. And now for your host, the incomparable Anthony Moore.
What's good? What's good? What's good? Top of it, top of it, top of it. Top of the morning, the afternoon, and the evening to you, whomever you may be, wherever you may be watching, looking, or listening. I am your host, Anthony Moore. Ant Mo, for those of you who may not know for sure, and welcome to the Late Night Shift Live. You may be wondering what the Late Night Shift Live is about. Well, I'm glad you asked. The Late Night Shift Live is dedicated to shifting the culture's perspective with unadulterated truth and a little bit of grace, one story at a time. We are not salacious or gossipy in nature, so the goal is to keep it real. That is, real relevant, real player, and real live. So, if you are looking at that thumbnail, you are not in the wrong place. I actually got a little nugget in there for you. Man, we're talking about Cam Newton and his recent interview with Lady London. We're talking Anton Daniels versus Corey Holcomb and the fallout of all of those things. But before we get into that, I want to talk about Casanat. Casanat, however you say the name, it don't make me no never mind. But I want to talk about, I just saw a video on YouTube, about 20 minutes long in nature. And let me say, first of all, that Casanat is, without a shadow of a doubt, a brilliant young man. Okay? You can get caught up in all of the internet games. You can get caught up in all of the other things that could cloud your mind about what is actually going on in front of you. Don't miss the forest for the trees. Now, let me show some love to my people. I see my two of my faithful fews in here. We got Miss Reese in the building. Hello, how you doing? It's always good to see you, girl. And then we got Bruce Wayne Glad said, "What's good, everyone?" Man, if you are here for the first time, we welcome you. We hope you stay for the long haul. You understand what I'm saying? Please hit that like button. That's just going to get more people in here to show that love. And please subscribe if you have not done so. No, this is not AI. This is live and living color from your boy, Ant Mo. And I am your host. So we got the salutations out the way. Now let's get to this show. Casanat. And the video was titled, "I Quit." And everybody thinks that he's quitting streaming. He doesn't want to do it anymore. We think he's going to go into an abyss. He's depressed. He's anxious. He's struggling with self-doubt. After watching this video, like I said, a very, very brilliant move in what he's doing. His PR team, the mind that he has, the intentionality in how he even did this video was simply impressive. At the end of it, it was never about him quitting streaming, even though he may never stream again. He may stream to a low level after this. But this was my takeaway. Content is always and will continue to be truly the king. Chronicling the process and everything that he's been through over the last 6 months, him desiring to be a clothing designer is something that is nothing short of amazing. Okay? It's the cheat code. It's the new cheat code for anybody who wants to let people get a greater look into who he is and where he is going. Content allows you, whether that's on YouTube, Kick, you name the platforms, it doesn't matter. Him being able to tell people his thoughts without it being this thing where he can get feedback, because anybody who knows anything about being a creative, Getting feedback from people can be a plus or it can be a minus. That's just the reality. People are going to tell you what they think. If it's a bad idea, even if he said he wanted to quit streaming for the rest of his life, there could always be somebody to say, that's a bad idea. Stick with your bread and butter. Nobody knows you for fashion design or being a clothing designer. None of that stuff matters when you get to dictate and call the shots in the way that Casanat has been able to do that. Like I said, he was able to set himself apart in that arena. Here's what we can take away from this in his whole journey is that the same way that he put himself and devoted himself to being a streamer for only 4 to 5 years, mind you, Casanat has only been streaming for 4 to 5 years, and he has been the biggest streamer in the entire world. Award upon award upon award. You talk about million subscribers in streaming, watching your life for 4 and 5 times, 4 and 5 hours at a time. Nothing short of amazing by this young man. But the same way that he poured himself into streaming to be the best, what I know as a person that understands processes and doing something that you love, I'd say, listen, my name is Anthony Moore and I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be on this platform right now talking to you. You're supposed to be watching. And that's just what it is. And when you make up your mind in that arena, success is sure to follow. Now, I don't have much to say about if he's toxic or if he's doing whatever. None of that stuff matters for him. The other people, we'll talk about them. But in reality, this guy is giving you the blueprint on how it's actually done. The other thing that we take away from this is you always have to be comfortable with the idea of being uncomfortable. When he talked about the idea of struggling with self-doubt, it was solely from the standpoint of when you've been great in one thing, people are always going to find ways to pigeonhole you into being that person that does that one thing well. It's the reality of anybody who loves what they do, right? It's never, and I learned this from Darius Daniels, it's not this or that, it's this and that. It's not either or, it's both and. I can be a great dad and a great husband. I can be a great streamer or a great in-person interviewer, and I can also stream well. Whatever that thing is that you want to do, I think that Castellanos gave us a blueprint on how to do it. You got to block out the noise and don't ever be driven by the things that never last. There was a time in it where he was talking to his mom and he was actually seeking out his mom's advice. You can never, ever discount trusted people in your ear. So when we talk about Kai, he's made more money than his mom ever could make, but she's a trusted voice. She's somebody who loves him and wants the best for him. We always need somebody that we can bounce things off of, to be honest and vulnerable with. That's what will actually push you to stop, to quit, to second guess yourself, is not having people in your corner who actually know you. And Kai did a great job. I just love the idea of him reaching from that well and actually getting something from it. How many times, raise your hand, hit the like, comment below, how many people have actually had somebody that you went to them for something and it was a dud, a resounding dud, because they haven't been through those waters. But the beautiful thing about relationship is when you know people, when people know you, they don't have to live what you live to know you, to be able to know what to speak into your life. And that's what his mom was for him, a beautiful sounding board. And what I love most about the end of his conversation with her was her reassurance of, don't be afraid. Don't be scared, because you got a mama who pray. And I don't care how far you go, I don't care what you believe, being able to have something higher to call upon, to get strength, to get wisdom, to get guidance, to get protection, is always going to be you standing in a square by yourself thinking that that's going to get the job done. So get comfortable with the idea of being uncomfortable. If there is no fear, there's no purpose. Being able to, Kai is stretching himself. Don't let that go over your head. He's stretching himself. I just got done with my think tank, and one of the guys was talking about a rubber band, and the ability of the elasticity of the rubber band allows it to be as useful as it possibly can be for whoever's using it. But within stretching a rubber band, there's going to be stretch marks. And you going through life and experiencing the things that you need to experience are going to give you the ability to withstand whatever it is that you're dealing with or going through. So I appreciated that 20-minute video to see a young man who didn't let money be the motivator, who didn't allow just to do something cool. We know him for having a guy who's putting the drip on. He got the watches, he got the car, he got all of that stuff. But what burns inside of you when you by yourself? What makes you feel alive? What is the thing that you enjoy doing that nobody else can resonate with? That's the thing that you're supposed to be doing. And that's when you know you're going to be in the wheelhouse, the center of your wheelhouse and what you're supposed to be doing with life. This will be the most successful that he's ever been in his life. And you can mark my words when I tell you that. So Ms. Reese said, this is inspiring. It is absolutely inspiring and I love it. All right. So with that being said, let's get into what appears to be, when we talk about Cam Newton, this blaring issue that stemmed from this interview, the Anton Daniels versus Corey Holcomb thing. There's so much to unpack, man. But let me start with my monologue. Have you ever seen somebody or something important to be focused on, but they, instead of focusing on what they were supposed to focus on, they focused on what an ant was doing, a literal ant? Or have you ever seen somebody happy with their life acting like they're not happy? What about somebody that was truly at peace with everything, seeking to rob somebody else of their peace? Lastly, my last question. Have you ever seen a great feat minimized or a person pretending to be unimpressed with the greatness or the satisfaction of resolve that they could have? That person or that type of situation doesn't exist, because if it does, it's because there's a heart that truly exudes the antithesis of what it is that they're trying to display openly. This is the remnant of somebody who has a lost identity, a lack of assuredness, and even clarity in their own life. Unhappiness is a sickness. I will say that again. Unhappiness is a sickness that even I have known all too well. Knowing people's hands isn't hard if you actually are trying to pay attention. And I just want to just give me a second here. Knowing somebody's hand isn't that hard if you're actually paying attention. Do they share your posts when it ain't something that benefits them? Are they congratulating you in all the great areas of your life and the things that you are doing? Or do they keep silent? Do you only hear from them when they got something to tell you about somebody else, being gossipy? That's the type of person you need to pay attention to and excommunicate yourself with. Comparison is said to be the thief of all joy. But I would argue that there are many stealers of your internal peace, but lack on contentment of your refusal to forgive is an unaliving thing you really should show or see. We are a generation devoid of understanding, communication, and due diligence. Our experience governs our outlook. But if that's our only sounding board, then the mirror by which we see the world becomes a stained glass window. Old fools used to be young fools. Think about it. Now let's get into it, man. Let's get into it before we get into it. That's the double entendre. So let's start with Anton Daniels versus Corey Holcomb. I have titled it the Toxic Masculinity Bowl. Now, in its totality, the podcast or the 5150 show that Corey Holcomb put out was about 3 hours. I'll be honest with you. In no world would I actually watch Corey Holcomb for 3 hours. There's a number of reasons for that, but that's not my type of content that I would like to take in. That's just me. But the actual interview or this dialogue or conversation all was about an hour of the show to begin. Now, I know some people don't like Anton Daniels. And I personally don't like the idea of somebody saying that they are a Christian before anything else and actually seeking out to disrespect other men, calling them fellatio professionals, things of that nature. That is not the way that we talk to men. But there was so much about this interview that Corey Holcomb proved that he is not who he says he is. I believe that there's a lot of things that Corey Holcomb may even be: a comedian, a content creator, but a solid individual in the areas of having integrity and how you approach content. I don't believe that that is actually who he is. Now, let's be very clear and unmistakable. There are no winners in a game like this. People truly do get hurt when you have a Corey Holcomb and an Anton Daniels seeking to out-content each other and say that it's not for content. At a certain point in this interview, very early on, Corey Holcomb made certain allegations about how he believed Anton Daniels to be. Now, there are certain things that I took away from this interview that I will point out that I believe Corey Holcomb never had any intents of really getting a real understanding about about Anton Daniels or how he moved, because the reality was so let me just get into it. And I'm going off notes here. I'm trying to get into my not my monologue bag, but my teleprompter bag, because it's a lot of stuff to talk about on here. The interview started out with Corey Holcomb making assertions that Anton Daniels only said things about black people, that he didn't talk about women. That he didn't talk about white men, and he didn't say anything negatively against himself. Now, that could be whatever he's picked up from watching his content. But in return, he said, okay, cool. Anton Daniels said, well, you suck the penis of black people every day. Meaning that he placates or panders to black people. Now, Corey Holcomb made it seem like he was incredibly offended by this. And I'm going to be honest, it didn't make any sense to me. Poor choice of words. Okay, fine. But you get the gist. As men, we have to stop being so toxic to believe that because somebody says something about you, that it automatically deserves a response. It doesn't deserve a response. He then got into this back and forth with him. He ends up moving the lady out of the way, Darlene, and they sit face to face and they argue back and forth. This is childish and schoolyardish in nature. So two things that I picked up. Corey got upset with Anton because he felt like, or he said, you're talking in riddles. That's like homosexual in nature. Fine. I'm sorry, let me get my words. What I then grew to understand is that Corey was doing the same thing and didn't realize he was doing the same thing. There was a young lady that Anton Daniels desired to be on the show. Corey didn't know the young lady. There was never any understanding or belief that the young lady was actually supposed to be on the show. At one point, so basically Corey said no. So then at one point, Anton starts talking about like him having an issue with a man being out with a woman that's not his wife. So the bell goes off in my head. Why? Because the clip shows initially that when they got into it and Anton storms off the set, that he said, take your bodyguard and your B word and get out of here. Right? So now that's in my mind. So when I watched the actual interview, Corey was wanting for Anton to address who the woman was. You're not in your city. You're in LA. You're from Detroit, or you live in Detroit. You have a wife, but yet you have this woman unattended with you who you're not expressing the nature of the relationship. Here's the double standard that we actually got from Corey. And it was the fact that you said when Anton said, hey, I'm not understanding what you're saying. Can you tell me, like I'm a C student, can you tell me what it is that you're actually saying on a C level? Corey didn't feel the need to express what it was that he actually felt. And as a result of that, it became to be this back and forth melee between them about who's real and what type of men they are. Corey literally, I looked at the time, for 30 minutes after their initial get into it situation, talked about how you shouldn't say certain things to men, how as elder statesmen, how we should have an understanding about how we're moving. And the whole time I'm looking like, can you please get back on subject? Corey, he's asking you, can we get back to the interview? But this is psychology and people one-on-one. Corey prides himself on being somebody who has people around him that are vetted. He's saying, you don't have to understand me and Darlene's relationship. Just know that I know her. We have a relationship outside of this that you don't understand. Cool. When Anton said, well, why does that bother you that you would see these two people out and that you don't know them? He said, it don't bother me. I don't care. That's none of my business. Then why are you feeling upset with Anton about him bringing a woman to the studio that's not his wife? And if Corey Holcomb is so, this is who I am, I stand on what I say, why couldn't you blatantly say it to that man's face? That's the double standard. You bring up an example that you're actually speaking to the man that's sitting across from you, and you're moving in a way that's not respectable or honorable as a man. So that's one thing. He didn't like that Anton brought a woman to the studio that wasn't his wife. You must have a relationship with this woman, but you won't define it. So that's my issue. Number two, at the very beginning of the episode, he said, what have you said about white men and how they've brought down America, how they've destroyed America? To his point, to Corey's point, Anton never, ever, ever addressed what he actually said about white men in his past interviews and things of that nature. So that already made Corey check out, because you're not standing on the business that you claim you believe. So there's three things. You said that I suck the penis of black people, like to pander to them. You have a woman in your studio who is not your wife, and I don't understand the nature of your relationship. And what was the third thing? You invited him to men's penises. You have a woman in your studio and you pander to white men and you won't hold yourself accountable. That's what he said. And here's the problem. In sitting on platforms and communicating, as you see me doing, as you may watch Anton Daniels or you see Corey Holcomb do, you have to stand on the business in other ways than just being harsh, calling somebody out their name. Corey said multiple times that he doesn't, after they cooler heads prevail, Anton actually apologized to him. He literally said, hey, I respect it. He said, say it again. Say that I suck people's penis again. And Anton said, we can go outside. We can go outside right now. We only got to talk. But Corey was now mind you, he had already said it multiple times. But it's that, say it again. Say it again. And he didn't say it. He ended up apologizing. At that point, after you've expressed what you think and what you feel for 20 minutes, can we just get into the interview? Can we just get into whatever it is that we think? But in Corey's mind, he felt as if no matter what was said prior, Anton no longer had validation to communicate with him on that level. Unfortunate. It's the reality, but it is what it is. Let me see. We got a comment. Chi-Chu Dusty said, this was a standoff on both sides. So I agree with you. It's a standoff. But watching that interview, which I'm assuming that you did, the problem is, bruh, if I've apologized, this is the point that this is the hill I'm dying on with this, Chi-Chu. And appreciate you for tapping in and commenting. At the point that I apologize, I shake your hand. We both acknowledge that we're good. Why do I have to go back and let you tell me 40 different ways on why it's not okay for a man to say certain things and where you from? I'm so tired of, hey, guess what? I'm from Fort Worth, Texas. They used to call it Murderworth. It's funky. So what? Somebody in Podunk, Mississippi can beat the brakes off of me and vice versa. I ain't gonna just take no L. I ain't gonna take no L sitting down now. But my point is, Corey then made it so much about trying to teach a lesson. That's another thing. He took the fact that Anton didn't just lay down and accept anything from him as it almost like, I think what Anton said was true when he said, he won't have me back on here. He said it's not fun for him. See, he wants to be the happy-go-lucky, I say things, I laugh about it, I say rude things about people, nobody's ever going to do anything about it. I believe Anton was very true in what he said. I do get why people could have issues with him by and large, but overall, I still do believe that he was right in his assessment of who Corey was. Corey thinks that he's more honorable and more of a man than the people that he has an issue with. And in return, that means that he gets to disrespect people. And that's just not true. And that's not what it means to be a man. That's toxic. And we get to put out content and it goes viral, and it goes viral for the wrong reasons. You and that man had an opportunity to build, and you made it into this nut grabbing competition where it's like, hey man, it could get dangerous for you. And man, that stuff is played out, man. You guys are in your 40s. For black men specifically, when does that thing get old? That's my question to anybody on here when does that get old for black men? If you are a black man or a black woman, not to discard anybody else. I just want that, because we live in this culture where people die every day or unalive every day because somebody has to feel like they're a man by pressing the issue on somebody or putting their hands on somebody or calling somebody out of their name to one up them. I learned about what humility truly is, and that's strength under control. Just because I got a V8 don't mean I got to go show it to another car that's similar. All right, let's see. We got another comment. We got Rock Mitchell said, I hate it with a passion. Where you from has no relevance. Absolutely. Like, bro, it's hardcore dudes in every city. It's pretty women in every city. It's hustlers in every city. Like, where you're from has absolutely zero to do with a man disrespecting you. We have to start shaping how we view manhood. I'm not, bro, you know how many things I've heard on a basketball court in my neighborhood and I didn't crash out? It becomes a poor excuse for moving less than honorable. And we got to stop that. Is that Bandman Kevo with a beard? I absolutely have heard that comparison before. Nah, I'm a little more handsomer. But appreciate you for tuning in, my boy. Lame joke, but I can rock with it. Can't disrespect. He said, can't disrespect no man. And this is Walteezy, the Hebrew, said, can't disrespect no man at the end of the day. Ego was involved. And if anybody really wanted to harm each other, somebody would have done it. Exactly. But nobody wants to be tough on the net. Everybody wants to be tough on the net. That's the problem. Exactly. This was nothing but false peacocking. That's it. That Anton then went on his own platform and said he would have beat the mess out of him. He talked about Corey's hand shaking and all of that. And I'm like, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Corey's hand was shaking the whole time. He might have a little early onset. I'm going to be honest with you. We might need to check on Corey, make sure he might got a little of that Parkinson's in him. If I'm being completely honest, his hands were literally shaking the entire time. So either he got weak fingers or it might be something else going on that he ain't telling us about. All right. This person said, we're in a different time, brother. And the brotherhood is lost here in spiritual Babylon. All right, man. Cool. Rock said that interview was whack as hell. An opportunity for two intelligent black men to grow, mostly Corey, and Corey completely fumbled. Yes, there we go. Thank you. You are absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct. Corey stood the most to gain. We all, this is This is conversation and interview 101. Okay, you should never be talking more than your guest. If you are really, you said you enjoyed the idea of Anton coming on there because it was a clash and a clash of understandings and getting an understanding. Yet you sought to disrespect the man by telling him he's homosexual. You know, though you making an assertion about how I feel is gay. It's like, I think that he didn't want no parts of the conversation once he realized that he wasn't going to be able to have his way with Anton. Now, mind you, I think both displays were whack. I think both displays were whack displays of manhood. But at the same time, ego was the biggest issue about all of this. You can't get egos in a room. You can't, because in this instance, we live in a time where it's only about how I'm viewed after the fact. Anton stood up. Anton gets to say, I invited him outside. You want me to say it again, but I'm telling you, we can go scrap right now. If anything, Corey, like somebody said earlier, if we was going to make it shake, we could have made it shake right then and there. We don't have to get into the back and forth and the banter, my boy. If you want to go do something, let's do it. Or punch him in his mouth right there, if that's what you really own. But I would argue Corey ain't really seen no smoke in a long time. And this ain't even about if he's a man enough or if he's tough. No, I'm just saying somebody's going to call your bluff. It's the same thing. I liken it to when you're young and you make all of these suggestive things to a woman about what you'll do to her. I never was into that. Because guess what, my boy? If she obliges, you got to go show. And you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. In the same way with somebody else, it's like, bro, like, cool. You the tough guy and you speak candidly in front of a microphone. Talk heavy like that. Go tell Will Smith to his face you think he's homosexual, or he is. Tell him. Who cares about sitting behind sitting on a platform behind a microphone making threats to people? Man, appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. We got 114 in here, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like. Please hit the like, man. It's free to do. And I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. We talking Corey Holcomb and Anton Daniels, and we're going to get into Cam Newton as well. I'm feeling real eclectic right now. NCLECTCA, eclectic. So it says Corey and Anton both ain't S-word. Both just talk a lot of junk. I agree with you. Where you from doesn't make you tough. You can die anywhere. Facts. The YNs don't care about ending it, my boy. They got AKs with switches on them. They don't care about, like, who cares about how tough you think you are? Anton, you is a little out of shape too, my boy. If I'm being 1,000% honest with you, and you could always come on this platform and we can have a conversation. No disrespect needed. But yeah, no, that's absolutely true though. They both look like old fools. And that's what the end of my monologue, which was a little shaky, but we're going to get better at it. You know what I'm saying? But I quoted the guy from Martin who said old fools used to be young fools. Think about it. If you want to know about where you're going 9 times out of 10, you got to see where you've been. Right? And unfortunately, what we're actually starting to see from rappers who talk tough that are from certain blocks in America, I ain't gonna call nobody out or nothing like that. In this regard, a lot of times y'all didn't even live like that. Anton, you probably wasn't no rough and rugged guy. You wasn't beating people up. Yeah, you fought your brothers and your nephews. That's cool. You wasn't just scrapping in the streets. You can't get me to believe that. So that's all I'm saying. He says, you can be so upset that it will make you shake, which was misleading, which can be misleading. Absolutely. But that's why I said I watched his hands early. Unless he was nervous when he first got there, and then he went to anger and then rage, his hands shook the whole time. I promise you. Go back and watch it. His hands were never not shaking, to be honest, for the most part. So, yeah, talk about his hands shaking. It's like, bruh, stop, man. That ain't nervous. I know some people that'll shake and start crying, and then they'll beat you to a pulp. And he said, Corey probably didn't want to get a lawsuit or lose money. whoever hits first gets sued, meaning his podcast. I think that's a good cop-out. I think that's a good cop-out for Corey. I do. Here's the thing, man. I'm going to be honest. Here's when I started looking a little different at Corey Holcomb when he went on Cam Newton's podcast. He was too eager and happy-go-lucky, and it wasn't that, oh, I'm gonna call it like it is. He was just, I just appreciate your platform so much, brother. And I just wish you would have said what you said to Cheyenne Bryant. It wasn't that same energy. It wasn't, dare I say, not being disrespectful or funny, it wasn't manly. It was almost like he was just so much of a fan of Cam Newton that they couldn't really just talk. He just agreed with a lot of what he said. He smiled a lot. And it just didn't give the energy that he gives on every other platform. And here's the reality. I believe that, yeah, he may be a mixture of both of those things, but he's probably more towards that character that we saw on Cam Newton's platform. He's more of the fun, happy-go-lucky comedian guy. You're upset that your career probably hasn't went the way that you want to. I know you're saying you're happy, and I'm not disagreeing with you that you live a good life, but you've talked a lot about not getting certain roles, and you say you're okay with it. But do I think there's a level of talent? Yeah, listen, I've seen him in The Ringer with Kevin Hart. He was great in that movie. But if you're not going to play the game, cool. Don't play the industry games. Don't complain about it either, though, because it does come off as like you're complaining. My boy Dominique, I ain't seen you in a minute, my guy. My brother. What's up, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Well, good to be seen by you. Much love, bro. You know what I'm saying? You agree? Already. We got the comments flooding in, man. Make sure y'all hit the like, please. We want to keep getting people in here, man, so we can keep having this good conversation, man. I do got notes. I do want to get to the notes. So at a certain point, I will have to go to my notes. Y'all can always do super chats too if y'all want those comments to go to the top of the line. If it were two black women, wigs and lashes would have been flying. And that's what I will say now. Them women, they got a little less control over them emotions at times. They'll throw caution to the wind on national television. You right. It'll be a pump over here, an eyelash on your forehead, hair snatched. Yeah, that's real. He said they both look like fools. Absolutely. No lie. I'm gonna try to get caught up on the comments and then get to the notes. Bro, you telling nothing but facts. Respect. Anton came to be disrespectful. See, I think that was a part of the ploy, right? But then it got to a point where Corey actually invited for certain responses, right? And then when he got them, it was like once he said whatever he said, right? He said, well, you didn't keep that same energy with Chappelle, right? He was like, all right, I'll give you that. You right. I didn't. So it's like now you fearful of what may come along with you trashing Chappelle's last special, right? And then he says, yeah, but that was easy though. Like, what else you got? Then when Anton says, well, you don't be Darlene and Craig, they don't be holding you accountable like that because you the boss. Now he like, oh, here you go. It's like you almost can't win when somebody has it set on their heart and mind to be against you. Once again, you come to the platform so that we can have an understanding. We're trying to have a dialogue. We're trying to rap a taste. But if you don't want to do that, then it kind of becomes pointless because people know who to play with, champ. So who are you referring to when you say people know who to play with? Because I'm gonna wait for your response, but who knew who? So in that instance, are you saying that Anton knew not to play with Corey? That's my question. Then he said he didn't go to Cam's podcast to disrespect. Well, you shouldn't go to anybody's platform to disrespect, though. My point is, it wasn't that I wanted him to disrespect Cam. My point is, he seems very aggressive and the opposite of docile every other place that I've seen him. But when you go on Cam's platform, it's like you at a 1. It's like, where's that energy, though? Like, you give off a certain, like, I'm going to say whatever I want to say about the industry, and it just is what it is. I just don't care about that. Like, I don't care for that from somebody. And then as men, I don't like the tea. We doing the tea, right? So in me talking about this situation, I'm going to give you my standpoint. but never, ever am I really seeking to disrespect not one man. I ain't saying nobody gay. I ain't saying nobody soft. I'm saying people who are in those situations who really like that, do something. They do something for two something every time. And if that's not what we own, why we keep saying, say it again, say it again. I'm from Chicago. I'm from Detroit. Like, both of y'all out of pocket, bruh. Both of y'all need to shut up. Like, hey, what's it? Any of y'all who familiar with Minister Society when they was going to go get the one who unalived his cousin Harold, and AWACS was like, both of y'all need, like, I can't say there's a bunch of cussing in it, but yeah, it's like, man, both of y'all need to be quiet, bro, and just talk as men, build as men. So then he said Corey didn't have the intellectual knowledge to combat what Anton was saying. My guy, Champion Barrows, Barrows. He says what Anton was saying. He, if he was well read, could have debunked things Anton was saying. Here's the thing. I don't even think it was about debunking. They just could have actually met each other on an intellectual level that they could have gained an understanding. That's the key here. This ain't, look, debates were never meant to sway your opponent. Debates were made to give perspective to the people in the crowd for them to gain a better understanding of both sides and then formulate an opinion or a new thought process. Like, bruh, like, let's talk and give people an ability to. Anton may never be able to get in front of Corey Holcomb's crowd of people again. And that's what we took from it. And then if you're a fan of Corey and he can do no wrong, then Anton is just whoever Corey decides for him to be. Now he's cheating on his wife. We don't know that to be true. And I'm not saying that he's not. I'm saying we don't know it to be true. We have no idea who that woman was. We don't know if his wife know that woman. But you said you got a B word in here that you pay for your, like, bro, that's being too loose. And here's the thing. At the point that Anton apologized and shook his hand, I could see in Corey's mind as that was a way for him to say that he was soft, or you ain't really standing on what you're standing on. Because if you wanted it to be something, it could have been something, even though it applies to him as well. That's just poor ability to execute and what the main goal was. It should never have been to be disrespectful. Even if that was Anton's, this is what I love as a man. Being able to seem impermeable in the face of somebody trying to make me feel away. Not being moved or swayed by what the next person thinks or feels about me. You want me to be upset, but I'm not going to be upset. That's G stuff to me. That's standing on business for real. So all it takes is for somebody to say you put your mouth on somebody's genitals, and it's not even saying, oh, it was Chris. You put your mouth on Chris. It's like he said, man, you do this to black people all the time. Oh, where I'm from? Who you talking to? Come on, bro. You missed it. You missed the mark. You missed the mark, man. Obliviously gifted. Corey and Anton. That was an argument between Django and Steven. Django asked Steven why he kisses Massa rear end so much and hates his own people. Steven got pissed off that he was. Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think that critique is actually as accurate. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think that critique is actually as accurate. I get your point though. But here's my thing, right? Why do we always have to prove our blackness by attacking white people? That's a real question. Now, I'll say this as well. Anton did say that he says certain things, and then when Corey said, well, what did you say? He never said what he said. Now, some people could say that was smart. Some people could say that wasn't right, that you should have said what you said. I personally don't feel like, because I said something about my baby mama 2 years ago, that I have to defend myself to say, well, I did say she did this and she ain't do this and she ain't worth it. It's like, cool, I said what I said. But it's like, why do you want to prove that he's not black or that he's not the one because he won't oblige you in saying something bad about white people. Here's the thing. Corey says he lives a good life, and I ain't going to argue if it's true or not. You really don't appear to be happy. Here's what I can say. And this is weird because it's like a part of my monologue was speaking to the fact that people who say they're happy are happy for real. I got a partner who he had deactivated his social media. And I'm like, hey, what happened, folks? What you doing? He said, man, I'm happy in real life. I'm really living the life I want to live. I don't have to display it for the internet. That's real happiness. Still talking about who's the backdoor. He has a word for people who he thinks are homosexual or who he knows to be homosexual, backdooria. Why is that a thing? Why, like, Corey, you always want to talk about somebody being gay. Why do you want to always talk about somebody being gay, bro? It's kind of weird, if I'm being honest. I'm not saying that you like men. I just don't know why you want to talk about the ones who are. It don't make sense to me. But it's like, let's say if I have a business and I'm partnered with Caucasian individuals, I'm Steven. If I hold black people accountable for traits, characteristics, things that they may do, statistics, whatever, am I Steven? I don't like when people say to be pro-black means to not, it doesn't mean that I'm anti something else. I kind of disagree. There's a yin and yang to life. There's a plus and a minus. There's an up and down. There's a left and right. If I'm pro something, I'm con something. And that's just on a basic level of understanding. So I'm trying to understand why we are to the understanding or the ilk or the belief system that most people, and this is just in my assertion of what I've seen, most people who are pro-black, I'm talking about still got the pick with the fist on it, talk about Asiatics and we the first, they don't like white people. That's just what I've seen. But I think we're so used to code switching and we're so used to like not standing on what we actually think or believe to be true even about ourselves or other people that we don't want the backlash. So we don't realize that it's like, bro, you either really don't like this demographic of people or you lie somewhere in the middle. But black people don't like being in the middle because, Lord forbid, I have my own thought process, opinions about life, about people, about what I think. Individualism doesn't exist. We have to go with the crowd. That's all I'm saying. He said, no, when you were talking about Corey going on Cam's show and how he didn't have that energy, people know how to play with people, pick and choose who they want to be tough with. Thank you. Yes, I agree with you in that instance. Yes, you are absolutely correct, my brother. He knew, he went in there, he dapped Cam up. He said, man, look at this nigga. Hey, bro. Hey, man, I love what you're doing, dog. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. You can't win all your fights, dog. But all I'm saying is keep that same energy, though. He found an ally in going against Cheyenne Bryant, so that became the talking point for if she's a real doctor or not. And that's another thing. As men, we got to stop going back and forth about women. You beefing with women all the time. Like, stop beefing with women, bruh. That's soft. Now, I'll say that. That's for any man. Don't get me wrong. This is a person who I have baby mothers. I have people who I've had children with. And I've not always had the best relationship with them. That doesn't mean I got to be arguing with them, going back and forth, disrespecting them, calling them out their name, talking down on them. That type of energy has to stop amongst men, period. I don't care what you got going on. Stop that, bro. That's soft. I'll say that. All right. Obliviously gifted, just you doing too much. I already tell you, man, you got to stop, dog. Talking about his precious massa. So he told Django, you suck your people off because you defend them and protect them and want to free them. and won't let me and massa corrupt and mentally enslave them. So here's the thing. Whatever it is that he actually said in that moment, to be honest with you, I forgot what Corey said in that very moment. But I'm not justifying what Anton said, because I don't think you should say that to men either. But it's like, you can't tell me that I placate to white men, and it's like, bruh, I placate to white men and I'm gay. Like, you can't say, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's usually some indication that somebody crossed the line. And I'm not saying go tit for tat, because that is whack. But stop, you can't cross, you cross the line enough to where somebody responds and then you take it to the next level and then make false threats. I just ain't with it. He said, right, that was unorganized. Yeah, man. He said, you saying I like white people? Ghost WTM? I like white people. Is that what you're saying? I don't have a problem with white people. I love being black and I love black people. I'm not here to prove anything to you, but whatever, bro. This comment right here, if that is what you are in fact saying, if you're not saying this, we can move right along. But if that's what you're actually taking from anything that I said, and you think that I'm placating to white people, you're a part of the problem. You're a part of the problem. It is what it is. He says, yeah, you're here talking about men like a woman. You funny. Jay himself, K5. Cool. Hey, everybody, jump on his bandwagon. I'm gay because I'm talking about life. It'd be funny to me, right? So, little sidebar. So, here on this platform, the Mind of a Man Network, this is why you see that people can't have their own thoughts and opinions. I'm not talking down on a soul, yet we have soft, sensitive men like Jay himself and whoever this other person is, Ghost W, whoever he is, Ghost Walmart, I think is what that stands for. Who knows? This could be one of my baby moms. Who knows? That's how they talk too. So you must be a girl. It's interesting, man. In this land of the free, home of the brave, somebody gets to come on here and try to troll me on my channel. We can't see your picture. You probably live in your mama basement. I mean, cool, bruh. Cool. Where are you touring? What you want me to tour at? Tell me the city you want me to come to first. Here we go. Okay. Now we got the soft men in here. Bro, you're weird. And I'm gonna read your comments because I want you to get your attention and let you know you still lame out this over with. Bro, you weird because they try to front like they ain't gay and understand they got a different agenda because they are gay. Cool, if that's what that is. I'm not tripping if he gay. Like, if he gay, bro. Cool. That ain't even the point of it, though. Corey calls a bunch of people gay is my point, though. Cool, bro. If he gay, said and he said whatever he said out the rip, dive in his mouth if that's what you want. The internet is full of weird people, as we can see. Anton Booty Warrior. Pro and anti. Pro and anti. You are pro, gay, and white. I'm just letting you get your. Hey, man, you clearly don't have friends. Nobody likes you. You're a Boondocks character in real life, right? Okay. How can you like somebody who never likes you? How can you like somebody who never likes you? I mean, I don't think you can. Well, I disagree. Let me say this. I think a lot of things in life are a choice. To answer your question, how can you like somebody who never likes you? The people in here who are saying all of these negative things, right? Who are saying these hateful, sissified things, right? Here's the reality. We are taught that we can't have an opinion, right? And these people are the reason why there'll never be a real understanding amongst any people group. Because a white person don't like me and I deal with this all the time because I'm black, I know when there's racism at play. I know this. I can feel it. It's tangible. It thickens the air. But my response is I have to be hateful towards them because they are idiots. So I have to be like these clowns in my chat because somebody don't like me, because I'm saying something that they don't like. I ain't threatening a family. I don't know them. The internet is a weird place. It's real, but don't live there. Because you have people in your comments who lame. I'm not the one, bruh. I really like that. You're going to say stupid stuff on the internet and feel good about yourself. And then go open a bag of sardines. Cool. Black people are the most forgiving people in the world, but you can forgive, but you can never forget. Remember that. I'm with you. Bruh, let me be clear. Let me be abundantly clear. I know what our history is. I know what the transatlantic slave was about. I know that not only did white people come over there to try to forcibly take people, I also know that some of the leaders over there gave some of us away. Now, if you don't want to, I'm not saying that it was okay. I'm not saying that racism is good. I'm saying we're never going to get anywhere. Some people believe that if they had the power that whoever the Europeans had or have, that we would do better. And I'm saying how? Based off of what? Absolute power corrupts absolutely. There has to be something that differentiates you from your oppressor, because if you get the opportunity, you're going to oppress them as well. That's just life. So I'm with you. I'll never forget what people have done. I'll never forget it. But I can't live my life walking around hating white people. I can't walk around hating gay people because they gay. It's weird. It's weird behavior, man. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. You have low intelligence. Don't you forever forget you black. I don't, brother. And I hope you understand. Enough beefing with women, dumb A, checking women to make them stop lying to us and men. Men don't argue with bees, dumb A. Dang, y'all kind of going a little hard in these comments, dog. Says you new black males are so sensitive. You black males are so sensitive. You fight like girls. I mean, okay. And he said, Larry said, homie, you don't have to justify yourself to these niggas, these clown niggas. Yeah, and here's the thing, Larry. I appreciate you, bro. I'm not. My thing is just like, it's within me to try to get an understanding, right? It don't take many comments from some of these people to know you're not going to get an understanding, right? It's amazing that I'm talking about a situation between two men, and somehow, because I can see both sides and speak to them, it comes to that. That's why I say there's low functioning people. That's why we can never get nowhere. Says only girls using emotional comebacks. Hey, listen, bro. I'm cool. I don't got no problem with nobody. It is what it is. Jonathan said that argument was nothing different than what we see at the barbershop. Only difference is it played out for all to see. It happened, and we as the culture should let it go. I agree. I'm not talking about it no more after this. I'm gonna put clips out of this, but I ain't talking about this no more, because at the end of the day, that's brain rot. After those two stopped talking, which was right about the hour mark, Corey started talking tough, and I don't want to watch this, bro. I don't consume Corey Holcomb content. It's low functional content, bro. If you are up here arguing and championing for Corey Holcomb, I know the type of cat you are. It's not to say that Corey don't speak truth. I'm not saying that there's no truth in what he says. I'm saying even in the delivery system, that's not the type of man I desire to be. Yeah, I'm gonna say whatever I'm gonna say. Okay, that was a sissy remark. Cool. But the point is, I don't feel no way. My heart ain't hard behind stupidity on the internet. You have to take the good with the bad. I welcome it. I think our people play victim, but ain't never been a victim. Our ancestors have been victims, but us, no. Any misfortunes in my life came from my bad decisions. Well, you got to be careful, Riz Gaming, because somebody gonna say you soft for that. The guys in these comments are gonna tell you that you weak. They gonna call you gay. They gonna say you a punk or something stupid because you take ownership of who you are and the choices that you make. Do we deal with racism in America? Yes, more than any other country in the entire world. That's a fact. But is that the main reason why I'm not where I would want to be in life or where I could have been? Nah, it's not. It's absolutely not. But the cap of it all is that it's like I was watching this video for a short second, and it was a lady talking about Monopoly. She was like, white people play Monopoly for 400 years. They took all our pieces, and then when we got up there, then we had to learn how to play Monopoly, so they got a 400-year head start. So what? Start learning how to play Monopoly. You better learn how to invest in stocks. These same guys whose name calling still think that a 9-to-5 is going to get you a retirement in 2020, whatever, 2030, 40. It's not. We play different games here, bro, and it's on different levels. So you coming on somebody's show trying to say dumb things, you're just showing where you really at. Anyway. No, I've been reading your comments, bruh. It says, why y'all always reading the comments that's talking stupid instead of reading the smart comments people like myself or give me. No, you right, bro. You right. Hey, man, this might be the only time that they get their fame. You know what I'm saying? Corey not built like that. He said, okay. So this actually isn't a good comment, but I'm going to read it anyway. It's funny you just said that. This ain't a smart comment because I'm going to tell you why. I don't think you gay, but I think you a sucker who try to blind himself thinking white people are truly your friends. I never said that, though. That's the interesting part, BP Studio. I never said that. I never said I truly think white people are my friend. I just don't care to see if they my enemy for real either. I got more stuff to worry. I got kids, bro. I got goals that I got. Like, I don't got time to focus on if white people are my friend or not. Like, that's low hanging fruit to me. I don't have as much as I can say I've dealt with people that aren't good. I've dealt with white people that are good. You got to be able to just balance it, bro. He said Anton and Corey were both woofing. It was just content. Land of the free. Let me see. Land of the free, home of the brave. You just proved the point you forgot about. They still lynching us just because we are black. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. But let me ask you. Let me just ask you this, and you just give me your answer, and then I'm gonna try to get back to the show. I'm gonna answer your question. I'm gonna ask you this question. Let me get back to the show, right? So, because one white person lynches a black person, right? Does that speak for the entire group? And I'm gonna get back to this. Do a super chat if you can, because I'm finna get back on point with these notes. But I just want to know, if one white person lynches somebody, does that speak for the entire group? So, like I said, let's be very clear and unmistakable. There were no winners in this situation. And to quote Jay-Z, nobody wins when the family feuds. At the end of the day, these are two black men that absolutely made themselves look like a fool. I don't care what side of the fence you stand on. If you are pro Anton or you're pro Corey, I'm not pro neither one of them. It just is what it is. I was just looking to see if there was some type of understanding that could be came to. I personally don't care for Anton's content. I don't. Like, don't lead with you a Christian and then you on there talking crazy, cussing at people, threatening people. That's just not the way that I desire to live my life, or to look at people who carry that moniker of Christian. Threats against people, persons, and things. I mean, the intentional disrespect, the blatant disrespect, statements about money ledgers. I'm tired of the how much money you got versus I got argument as well. This is all lame stuff that we need to leave in the past. Talking about the women you done laid down, using your hood as this big reputation thing, false displays of morality based off religious affiliation. Those things are all detrimental to true manhood, and it's a trap. See, getting in the comments and woofing with people and talking crazy, that's all false displays of masculinity. We always want to talk about toxic masculinity. What is good masculinity? What is healthy masculinity for a man? We didn't see it on this interview, and we sure ain't seeing it in these comments. The reality is there are chinks in everybody's armor. No matter who you are, no matter what side of the fence that you sit on, there are chinks in everybody's armor. Ain't nobody perfect, bruh. It is what it is. But we'll sit up and justify talking crazy to somebody as if you like it's not justifiable, bro, to talk crazy to somebody or talk crazy about somebody because they white or, you disagree with whatever they got going on. All right, so that was my final point. We're going to get to the bottom of these comments and what y'all have to say about that, and then we're going to move on to Cam Newton. It is what it is. All right. Batista said, well, if somebody don't like you, they don't like you. Just don't deal with the people that don't like you. That's how I look at it. You stay over there, I'll stay over here. Facts. And that's called maturity and manhood. They're saying in the comments, and I'm not saying BP is, but they're saying hate them. Just hate them. Hate them, and all of them are garbage. It's like, bro, you got your heart broke by one woman, now all the women trash. Oh, okay. Like, bro, that's just stupid reasoning. That's all I'm saying. Don't lower your standard to be like them. If you're saying that to me specifically, I never will. He said the new bigots and racists are looking more and more like us every day. I get it. And don't get me confused. I do believe that there are people that can be paid to hate on their people. I'm not one of them. I do believe, though, that there is a distinct difference between holding somebody accountable and just flat out nitpicking, hating, and judging somebody. I do think that there is a difference. He's DJ Kingpin said, I'd say 30% of the internet is mostly bad actors and probably putting on a mask and hiding behind screens and acting like they're tough. Exactly. I'm not a tough guy. I die for my family. And I stand on what I stand on. I really do. But I ain't no fake tough guy. I don't got time for that. You're going to have to show that too. Somebody press you, you're going to have to show it. We have all witnessed interactions like what Corey and Anton had, friends and family. It happened and it should be dead. But with people still talking about it, it is what is keeping the drama going. And I'll be honest, Jonathan, I don't think that is necessarily drama. At least in my instance, it's not. I think that there are things to be extracted from this situation, right? It becomes like any other thing, like you're saying, that we've seen or heard. A lot of times with family, though, that becomes the norm. So it's like, that's just Chris and John. That's how they do. It's like, nah, bro. We got to get to the heart of this, and people lack understanding. You talking about a large portion of the internet, a large portion of people lack the ability to gain understanding of who somebody is and why they feel what they feel. Corey never took the time to really understand Anton or where he was coming from. Whether you like Corey, whether you like Anton, that's not even the point. You got to give people the ability and bandwidth to express themselves and explain themselves. If you don't like it, that's fine. But for like somebody, like getting back to, I posted a video a couple days ago, and it was talking about Jamal Bryant, the dress, all of that, right? And it's like somebody who goes to that church said I was clout chasing off of their pastors. And I'm like, I don't got to talk down on your pastors to get attention. At the end of the day, I'm cool with putting out quality content, and wherever it falls, it falls. But in that platform, it's always about holding people accountable. What do we take from this? How do we get better and grow as a people? Is there something that we really can learn from Anton and Corey's interaction? If you want to have a conversation, take it off the internet. If it's really that important to you. If you want to gain an understanding, y'all talk to each other as men without the cameras. And let's see if there's still this desire to put hands on each other and say crazy stuff. I can't believe what ain't for the internet when you saying it, and then I see how things go. Appreciate you reading my comments. Stay balanced. To the best of my ability, my brother. Batista said, well, that's common. They're gonna get oppressed because it's called karma. What goes around, come around, whatever energy you put out, it come back. And I agree with you to a certain extent, right? And I'm not saying that I know he's speaking about white people. I see that he's some level of Hebrew Israelite or something. That's fine. Are y'all supporters of Corey, by the way? Does Corey Holcomb have a large Hebrew Israelite community? I'm not saying that. I'm not assuming that, but I kind of believe that's how it goes. I mean, cool, man. Like and respect are two different things. We don't ever have to talk to each other in my presence. Respect me. I rock with that, Sister Soldier. You know what I'm saying? You said Puerto Rican. Okay. Other. But that's why you have to stay dangerous. Stay on the offense because we always play defense and let it slide. Yeah, but in this instance, what does it mean to stay dangerous or stay on the offense, right? That's what I'm trying to get to an understanding of. What does it mean to stay dangerous or stay on the offense? And I know you're speaking to black people, but I also want to know, as far as even in that situation, like with Corey and Anton, like who was supposed to stay dangerous? Who was supposed to, like, I guess I just want to get an understanding of that. And then Christopher said, keep up the good work. You're doing good, brother. Man, I appreciate you. Mr. Derek J said, more than any other country. Nuts. Well, you got to give me some context because I'm late to your comment, so I don't know what you were actually referring to. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hold on. So listen, so I know what you're talking about. So we know that in other countries, there's genocide and things of that nature, right? But we talk about racism in America. Ain't nobody touching America with racism, bro. I'm sorry. Like it exists. I'm just saying in America. Yeah, they hold the flag, my boy. I promise you. Just keep doing your thing, living, and you'll get a better understanding. I guess my thing is like, I feel like you're saying that, and I'm not saying you're saying anything negative. I think you think that I don't understand because I'm not speaking overtly against white people. I'm not speaking in favor of them. I'm saying I don't got time to focus on them. If it's the agenda, if they gonna do what they gonna do, I ain't got time for it, bruh. I ain't got time for it. You said props to you for getting on this platform and speaking your mind and truth. Some just want to argue and be keyboard cowboys. Salute and respect. Appreciate you, man. Make sure you hit that like, man. Make sure you subscribe, man. I promise you, I do multiple shows on this platform, the Mind of a Man Network, and it's just dedicated to, man, doing dope things for men. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't speak for every man, but I do speak from the male perspective. And man, I just want to build a community of people who want to elevate the way that they think. And that don't mean think higher of black people and less of white people. I mean, really take in the content and let's see what we can actually come up with and cultivate as a people, a human race of people, right? If it's more black people than white people that are drawn to it, cool. I'm not tripping. But bro, I stand on my square. I'm a believer. I love people. You get what I'm saying? I'm like, I want to operate in excellence in everything I do. So that's all I'm saying. White people aren't your enemy, brother. We think about race less than almost any other race. I can guarantee you that. Oh, that's a white man. That's a white man. I appreciate you, bro. Hey, listen, and you may be one of the people that may be in a minority that don't move like that. I just ain't got time for that, bro. If I gotta get on here and talk and say bad things about white people to get 2 million people in the chat, I'm just not gonna ever be that guy. I ain't cut like that. You know what I'm saying? So it just is what it is. He's not soft. He's not a punk. He just lost focus. Just because you was living in slavery doesn't mean you ain't a product from slavery. And I get your point on that too. I get your point. But I think at the end of the day, though, I do believe that if we're only ever going to replicate what we've always seen, I don't think it's necessarily bad that black people are forgiving. Maybe that's why we, and no disrespect to my white individuals, I'm really not. I maybe that's why we don't age like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the ability to forgive, do something to your skin. I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, I don't have a problem with white people. Period. Bruce Glass, I just seen him. He said no. That is a white man, and he has always supported me. He followed me from a whole nother platform and supported me more than black people do. Point blank, period. Any show I do, he on there supporting me. So am I going to think that Bruce is like all the other people that are negative towards me or hateful or racist towards me? No, not going to do it. I allow people to show me who they are. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Going to try my best to support your channel so you can keep on doing your thing. Are we going to see how you change up once you live a little bit more? All right. Hey, man, I'm cool with that. I ain't tripping, bruh. I respect it, man. I'm assuming that you hit the like, and I'm assuming that you subscribe so you can see what I be talking about. That's cool. I ain't mad at it, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I hope the switch up. I ain't no switch up. I just think that with more experience, you do. I mean, with more experience, you do gain better understanding for sure. I guess I would just want to know from you, what would you be expecting for me to gain? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is it that you think I may be missing that I need to know based off of what we talking about with Anton and Corey, of course, because that was a springboard for the conversation for sure. But I appreciate all the love. You know what I'm saying? And you said fear, facts. Anton acts like a female. Anton never explained himself. Well, he never got a chance to. And I'm not saying this in argument of him. It just got to a point to where Corey just wanted to talk about why you shouldn't invite men to your genitals or something. It's just weird, bro. Like, man, if that man is gay, let him be gay, bro. I just don't understand why y'all couldn't go on with the interview. It's like, you can't. Then he said, I'm trying to teach you. I'm trying to teach you. You ain't trying to teach nobody nothing, Corey. I don't think you have the capacity to really teach. I'm just be honest. He said Anton later on said he came there to get up under Corey's skin intentionally. I believe that. I could tell early on. I could tell that, right? But I mean, he succeeded. That's my point, though. As men, we got to start being able to maneuver through those spaces a little bit better. You said, where's the white folk defending Anton Daniels? Where? No videos. Yeah, he tells you he don't rent to ninjas and calls you dumb, stupid, and everything else. I get you. I get you, bro. Let me be clear once again. I don't support Anton's platform. I don't know what he does, to be honest. I don't partake. I'm just going off of the clips that I've seen in the actual interview between him and Corey. That's it. That's it. He says, I believe you are another fool. I mean, cool, bro. Hey, man, I ain't going to put your comment up there. I'm not a big fan. I'm Hebrew. He okay. Okay. People can separate their ideology. Says people can't separate their ideology with who they are. You said, Doris said, yes, because white folks know how they are. They know about the racism in this country. They know white men are afraid of black men. They're the first to shoot a black man. I mean, I think that is a pretty basic take there. I think that's what everybody says that takes that opinion, to be honest. Cool. I see a lot of videos, yet none from white. He hates ninjas and else. All right. I mean, cool, bruh. Okay, then you said people can't separate who they are from their ideology. When you question how they want to build the world, they say it as a personal attack. Let's see. It's not about being dangerous. Anton wasn't supposed to come in there acting like a female. He brought the other woman in there thinking he was going to get brownie points. All right. I mean, where you get that from, though? I mean, I don't know. Maybe you know something I don't know, but where you get that from? Anybody has ever played a video game online knows there's racism in every culture toward us, period. I don't disagree with that. Oh, I think anywhere black people go, they've seen levels of racism, whether it's high or low. I don't disagree with that. In order to be a good journalist or a good communicator, if you want to talk, you have to learn how to talk to people in on their level to get good understanding. I agree, and I think I actually do a good job of that. Just a little plug for myself. I don't think Corey did a good job of that, though. South Africa is without doubt number one in racism against black people, but I feel you though. Okay, no, and I'm not. I've never been there, but I understand that that's where Nelson Mandela was from, right? And, with apartheid and all that. So I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not acting like I'm the end all be all, like we know everything on this platform. Definitely at the end of the day, I could receive that and want to have healthy dialogues. Sound like you got a white woman? Nah, bruh. My lady probably in here right now. She black, she loud, country, and she thick as life problems, my boy. So you're wrong. Love you to life though. Anyway, and the mother of my children are black as well. So you be easy. Why now? Well, there should be an explanation for it. He can't even sit in a black man's house with manners. I mean, I think people can do what they want to do though, bro. Here's the thing, right? I understand that we live in a world where we have opinions and we're expressing them. I am sitting on my platform expressing my thoughts, feelings, opinions about what I knew about that situation. We still ain't even got to the Cam Newton situation yet. But I just don't think we realize how much we can not care about what people got going on. We be feeling like we gotta care about if Anton Daniels rent the black people. He's doing that a lot of times to create content. It just is what it is, man. And that's what I don't care for, to be honest, about what social media has turned into. It's the reality that people feel like they got to take all of that stuff in like it's real. Some of these guys are selling themselves out for a check. Anton is one of them. White like to hear the word nigga hard R and still wordings. I mean, cool. Nah, it's the melanin. I don't know what that means, butterfly pink, but cool. Why the host favorite Jonathan Majors? I ain't gonna lie to you. Jonathan Majors is a funny looking dude, dog. And Jonathan Majors is cool. Hey, dog, I play the booth with Jonathan Majors, but I don't look like that dude, bruh. Knock it off. I can rock with it. I ain't even mad at you, dog. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. I ain't never heard that one before. Anton Daniels isn't thinking about ninjas, but their money. You idiots, put your ears on. I don't know what that last part means. Anton looked like Rick Ross. Oh, you came on here roasting, dog. You funny, dog. Knock it off. Says, I have no issue with Anton. I think because he is married, sometimes his content seems a little weird, as if single men or certain black people he is better than. And I agree with that. I can understand that standpoint from the viewpoint of it's like somebody that get married, they used to sleep around, then they get married, and they're like, hey man, I need to stop sleeping around. It's like, nigga, you used to sleep around. Shut up. You know what I'm saying? It's not like holding somebody accountable. It's like you really looking down on me. So I ain't mad at that assessment. First time on this page. You have self-hate. I just came on here. I don't have self-hate. No. No, that is not what was. No, I love me now. Nah, I don't got no self-hate. I don't know where you're getting that from. Please explain yourself. Hey, Haiti. Says Corey isn't always right, but he is consistent with staying true to himself. And a lot of time he's wrong. He's wrong. He admits it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't never heard Corey admit he was wrong. But I cool. I rock with you on it. First time I've really seen Corey triggered. He was really in his feelings. He was. Corey passed Anton pressed Anton did nothing. Yeah, are we acting like we proud of that whole thing? No, that's my only thing, right? Yeah, he dropped the mic, said say it again. He said we can go outside. He said no, say it again. I don't know, bro. I guess it's all lame to me. I'm Haitian and Dominican. hate us because we black and they somewhat black. Dominican. Oh, you said I'm Haitian and Dominican. They hate us because we black and they somewhat black. I mean, I don't that don't seem like a complete statement for me, but more knowledge for sure. Oh, this is my lady right here. Not white. Like that though. Facts. She is like that though. Anyway, I think Anton visited another platform with zero intent to level set to a host. Why visit? I mean, you go to a nice restaurant and no one uses their outside voice but an inside voice. Zero class. Oh, it was a lot of stuff tacky about this. I don't disagree with you, Anthony. I'm Anthony too, by the way. Shout out to you, boy. Make sure you hit the like and make sure you subscribe from one Anthony to another. You feel me? But no, I agree with you. That was classless. That was high levels of classlessness. You know what I'm saying? I ain't arguing with you on that. Defendant and stay in your denial until he calls your name. The money comes before Jesus for him. Oh, yes. I agree. See? Now you were saying some crazy stuff about me, but I agree with you. You said I'm a Christian first, but it's like, nah, bro, that ain't Christ-like at all. You know what's amazing is that people don't like Christians, right? And I'm talking about just regular people don't like Christians, but they know that how most Christians act is nothing like what Jesus was or what he embodied. So it's like, Corey, you can't say, I mean, Anton, you can't say you're a Christian, bro, and then you on here talking reckless to this man, completely disrespectful to this man. Having an intent to go on a platform to agitate, irritate, and get under somebody's skin is just not it either. So you're absolutely correct on that, my brother. You do know he's a pastor's kid. That's why he's walking mockery of the Bible. That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me. All right, let's see. Timothy Grant put that. I don't know what the emojis and then shaking my head. Give me some context now, brother. You come on now. All right, so let's get into Cam Newton, man. Cam Newton, Lady London. So, geez Louise. This was a bad interview for multiple reasons. And Cam did a very, very, very poor job of doing his job on this one. This was cringy. It was a cringy display of journalism. Cam often blurred the lines between self-interest and business. I do believe that Cam was absolutely attracted to Lady London. But it seemed like at times he thought he was on a date. Like, if y'all seen that interview, please let me know. I felt awkward at times because I'm like, Cam, I don't know what your motive is in this interview. And this speaks to the peacocking, any man who's been around women that they're attracted to understands that there's a level of showboating that goes on when you're trying to impress somebody. And it seemed to me that Cam was definitely trying to impress Lady London. But the reality is, I don't think that it worked. I know it didn't work. Absolutely didn't work. So, I thought to myself, I put a note here. I thought to myself, how does his lady feel about this? So, for all of you who know, Cameron Newton definitely talks about being in a committed relationship. Something about that interview, I feel like he had to have a conversation when he went home or once it actually aired. Because what did he kept giving backstory to his life and how he was raised, and it was just weird, bro. Like, and for any of you who've seen the thumbnail, neglected. I'm feeling eclectic. Okay, NCLECTA. It's not a word. It's in the Urban Dictionary now, but it's not a word, Cam. And here's what I don't like. Going back to the peacocking, going back to the trying to prove something. Why do you feel the need to double down on being wrong? As a man, I could absolutely just appreciate saying you wrong. Okay, you know what? I spelled the word wrong. Hey, listen, hey man, I got my associates in horticulture, and I got my actual degree, my bachelor's in sociology. That's the study of people. You didn't have to tell her that, bro. A lot of this stuff was bad. And what I appreciated, and you can say what you want, but I appreciated how unimpressed that she actually was with that poor display of masculinity from him. I think that Cam is highly entertaining. I think he's good at what he does. If you want to see some good skill set stuff, man, go look at him on TD Jake's podcast, Next Chapter. And if you haven't seen the interview with him and Jason Wilson, it's evident to me, and I don't know how many of you people are believers in anything, if you believe in God or not. I believe absolutely that God is trying to speak to Cam Newton, because I think he's caught up in a bunch of different things that don't really amount to success for the long term. If you have a baby with somebody, and it's just me, I could be dead wrong here. If you have a baby with somebody and you already had 7 kids, 5, I believe, that are his own, or 6 that are his own, or something like that, what else would you be waiting for? Let's have a real conversation here, folks. If any of the men in here, I would absolutely love your feedback and your thought process on that situation, right? Because I want to wrap a taste. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't here to just bloviate about what I think. I want to hear what the people got to say in the comments, right? But what is Cam waiting on? And when you have an example in parents who've been married long as he's been alive, I just don't get why it's always a reason why. It's a reason outside of the close-up examples that he got as to why he don't want to be married. When you talk about sleeping with these married women, that was your choice, bro. Nobody held you down and made you do this. But it's like, oh, my teammates. You know what my granny used to say? Oh, if all them people gonna jump off a building, you gonna do it too? Cam, why is this a thing that we're making it seem like we gotta really use? My teammates took off their ring. It scarred the way I think. I slept with married women. It scarred the way I think. We gotta stop that, bro. It becomes lame excuses on why we can't step up to the plate and be the men we supposed to be. Period. All right, let's get into these comments. Judge Joe Brown summed up the issue with Anton and Corey on the show with the lady that is always interviewing him. All right. I mean, Ant said he's all right. Y'all still talking about them, bro? It must be people who going back and watching it. All right, I'm gonna read these comments and I'm moving on. Ant said he studied Corey. Ant didn't want to get torched, but he was defensive towards Corey when Corey got loud, kissed butt, as suck D, tables turned. Corey was butthurt and still is. That's true. Oh, what Judge Joe Brown said. All right, Cam embarrassed himself during that moment, and she didn't hold back. I got to see what the judge said. Question is, why is she still waiting around? Because I believe that when somebody is truly for you, that's what they do. Like, once again, I say this. It doesn't matter how much a man is for a woman. What really ultimately matters and seals the deal for a man is how much a woman is truly for him. I believe that that woman probably loves him and is down for him more than anybody has ever been. Essentially, he's came to you talking about he cheated on you and you told him about how you feel about it and loved him through it and talked through it. You ain't going to find that everywhere, Cam. I bet you $1 to a dime you ain't going to find that everywhere. When you really in the paint with somebody, when you really love somebody, and you really trying to give them that rope to do what they supposed to do, and now you are tied in with a baby, listen, there is a little more room. There is a little more room for expansion. You don't even think about leaving because that's not where when you fully committed to it, you committed to it. So that's why she's still there, because she really is committed to that man. He shouldn't have that framing. If he doesn't want it, he should just say that. He probably fronting for his parents and society. He cares about people in society. Oh, he cares about people judging him for not wanting marriage, in my opinion. I could go with that to a certain extent, but he's never devoid of saying, I know what people are going to say, but I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I love that interview with TD Jakes, bro. If you ain't watched it, do me a favor. When this is over, don't leave now. When it's over, go watch next chapter with TD Jakes and Cam Newton. And here's the reality, bro. We all gonna get old. The boobs gonna drop. The blood gonna stop flowing to certain parts of your body. But the beauty is going to fade, and you gonna want somebody there who love you for you. To love somebody through multiple baby mamas, kids, having to share somebody with the world, the stardom, deal with infidelity, loving somebody but not committing to them through the ultimate commitment, because I don't care what nobody say. You can live with somebody for 20 years, never marry him, and it don't mean nothing. When you actually marry that person, it's going to be a different level of everything in that relationship. So I'm just saying, at the end of the day, like, that may be what that may be that he's struggling with that, right? But at the end of the day, you got to make that commitment, my boy. People say marriage ain't nothing, but then don't want to do it. Marriage ain't nothing. Okay, we'll do it. You've been with her for 15 years. You got 7 kids. Marry her, nigga. Interesting point. He said he is not waiting. He is deflecting. He has fear of getting married, everything falling apart and being abandoned. He has to have some type of abandonment issues in his past, probably childhood trauma. Guy 1. So I think that is, I'm not saying that that's not valid, right? But he brags on his mom and dad being married for 30-something years. He said that he's had examples of healthy marriages. Not a lot, but here's my thing. What goes on in your household, unless there's more to the story that he ain't telling us, it sounds like you just don't want to, bruh. I mean, he talked about the things he experienced with his first baby mom and how she's went to the links to hurt him and do different things. I get that, bro. I'm absolutely with you. But as men, bro, we absolutely got to move past this stuff. Okay, well, go to therapy, my boy. But don't miss out on the woman who really for you, who gonna truly love your dirty draws, who is actually probably sent to correct the wrongs that other person did to you, because you don't want to do the work. I ain't no therapist. I'm just saying. You said one more. While the civil rights movement is being picked apart by Trump, Anton is telling folks, F Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, like why, what for, and all he says he will address it, I think. So no, you're right. No, you're right. I know you said that's the last one. We moving on. But yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I don't be tolerating that slander either, bro. You can't just go say F the greats, bro. Like, it's like, bro, it's like that person. It's like me talking to that person or to Anton. It's like, Anton, you ain't gonna never affect the world like Martin Luther King did. You ain't gonna never affect the world like Malcolm X did. What gives you the authority to write an unmitigated God to say something like that? It's classless, bro. Just in his room playing in all y'all face. No, I get it. I mean, it's cool. He ain't playing in my face. I don't care. Yeah, it creates a talking point for a lot of people though. So let's move on. Here's another thing though. Cam thrives in situations that are beneficial. And I think the thing that's going to separate and make what separates and makes people great is being able to be who you are authentically in every room, right? Being a chameleon of sorts, knowing how to maneuver. I didn't even watch the Natalie Nunn interview with the lady with the American Dad chin. I was not going to watch that. I'm tired of asking women what they bring to the table. I'm tired of conversations that talk about what a woman brings to the table. Bro, men who really take care of women, who love women, who are leaders, fathers, husbands, don't ask women what they bring to the table, bro. That's a false bravado thing of having money and typically having more money than the person you with, and then what you bring to the table. We ain't tired of having them conversations, bro. Men don't need. If I have to explain to you as a man, talking about Cam Newton and his platform, in the instance of a Natalie Nunn or a Lady London, he would never ask Lady London what she brings to the table. He wouldn't fix his mouth. It just wouldn't happen. She's too intelligent. She's well studied. She's well spoken. But a Natalie Nunn is low hanging fruit for the toxic people. What you bring to the table? What do you bring besides money? That's the most important thing about a woman, is what she brings to the table outside of money. That's why that conversation is so lame. A woman who knows how to be respectful and loving and a soft place to land, all those things, bro, it's a bunch of intangible things that are actually very tangible that makes a woman special, important, needed. So asking a woman what she brings to the table I don't want to watch interviews that's asking women that in 2026, bro. It just ain't it. So I think what was crazy about what she did, though, Lady London, was she found a way to disarm Cam. And so it's like, now that's why you getting all of these, yeah, well, my grandmother raised me. You know, it's like we getting all these backstories. Nobody ever knew this, but when I was growing up, my daddy had a landscaping business, and it's cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But it's like, bro, do you not have anything to actually bring towards this woman that could actually make this interview? Bro, Funky Friday interviews is way longer than an hour. Way longer than an hour. But for some reason, this one was like 58 minutes. And what was intriguing, this was what's intriguing about Cam in this instance, right? I consume a lot of Cam's content because I think he's good at what he does, right? And I do this too, so I study. You know what I'm saying? I really do look at what makes people who they are. But it's like, for some reason, the approach just wasn't the same. Like, the execution just wasn't there. It was just completely different. Now, he got frustrated with her like he got frustrated with Jason Wilson, which I don't take kindly to that, because Jason he ain't TD Jakes, but he like that. If you watch the interview with Cam and TD, he never expressed an ounce of frustration. He shut up and listened to that man talk several times. The last 10 minutes, he didn't talk. It was all TD Jakes. So I'm like, man, you there's got to be a balance. Being a famous athlete, being a chameleon, knowing how to work a room, knowing how to be funny, man, that stuff only gonna get you so far. And I think more than anything, Cam is used to being the tallest in the room, the most intriguing guy. He got the hair, he gonna wear a bow tie, and he gonna have on a jersey with it. It's like, man, all that stuff, bro, outside of that, you're gonna have to find a way to be relevant beyond that. This platform that you afforded right now, awesome. It's gonna come a time where don't nobody care about you wearing a jersey, bro. Cool, that's what you do. Now what? So I think that what I took from that interview is that Cam is more impressed with himself than anybody else. And it's nothing worse than being the only person in the room that's impressed by yourself. Cam is used to performing in every room that he goes in. He's used to being the guy. And I think that for all intents and purposes, there was a level of humility that he was handed out. He said, laugh out loud, American Dad chin. No, seriously. And then I went and seen, like, mind you, I never watched Baddies. I had seen a clip, and it was her, like, she kept doing this on the camera, talking about Natalie Nunn. Every time she would talk, she would do this, and I'm like, bro, why is this girl even a guest? Like, I'm sorry. Some people just shouldn't be put on TV. Baddies has enough of a platform on Zeus Network or wherever it's put out. Cam, don't ever interview somebody like that again. It's just bad for the brand. But she absolutely has American Dad chin. So my ability to think, articulate, and read a room are innate to who I am. Not something I can constantly need to remind not something I need to constantly remind the world of. Speaks more to insecurity or overconfidence. So what I was basically saying here is I'm always leery of somebody who wants to continuously speak to their talent or how different they are. Or, you know, I'm the only one in my family, man, that's got money. It's like, man, how do you deal with that? People gonna ask you for money whether you got it or not. It's like we like to try to make, it's something I said earlier. It's like people want to mystify who they are. It's like, oh, my mom asked me for money and my sister asked me for money and my brother. Yeah, me too, fool. Like, so what? I ain't no millionaire. They gonna ask you for money. Yeah, you was the only one who made it to the big leagues, bruh. I ain't mad at that. I'm happy for you. But what does the next level of life look like for you, Cam? There's statistics that show married men are way more successful, by and large, than single men. You don't got to talk to me about divorce rates. I know them. I get them. I understand them. I live them. But there's something that you are missing about the importance of taking the next step in your life. I put in my notes that God is trying to talk to Cam, and I really believe that. God is trying to tell you something. Jason Wilson said, I was sent here for you. Just so happens that after that, the next interview is with TD Jakes. There's something all of us got to catch. And the ability to read a room or read the room is going to take you further than any talent could ever get you. There is a season to everything. Here are my closing remarks. Don't get tricked out of your spot. The world is full of pretenders and people sent on assignment to simply distract you from your purpose. I'm going to say that one more time. Don't get tricked out of your spot. The world is full of pretenders and people sent on assignment to simply distract you from your purpose. He who started a good work in you will see it through to the day of completion in the day of Christ Jesus. We all got somewhere to be. We all should be living with mission, on a mission with purpose. Whether you Cas or not, whether you're Anton Daniels, whether you're Corey Holcomb, whether you're Cam Newton, whether you're Lady London, you got somewhere to be. And arguing and debating with people about things that are simply meant to get you a tick off course. If you're on a plane and they send you the manifest and you divert by a quarter of an inch, you'll end up in a whole nother city or country. Run your race, brother, sister. Be intentional about the way you live your life and the things you do. Because you'll look up and your 30s are going to turn into your 40s are going to turn into your 50s. Inflation will have been in rise, and you will have nothing to show for the life that you've lived. Regardless of the things that I experience on my platform is my platform. And I am walking out my purpose with intention. If you have gained anything from this, I hope that you will look forward to being a part of this community. Tapping in with this platform is fruitful. It's something for you here. I'm looking to partner with exceptional people, not internet trolls, not people who want to down talk women and disrespect their own people. I lived enough life to know I don't know much at all. If you want to join the journey with your boy, please hit the like and please subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow with a sports show because I'm really like that. As I end every show, life is hard enough, so please don't just live elevated and be exceptional. Until next time, I love you. May the Lord keep you. I'll see you on the other side. Peace. You know what? Actually, I got a couple comments. I think I ended it good, too. Let me read these comments. My bad. And I got a super chat. Now, y'all don't go nowhere. Y'all stick on in there. Stick and stay. Hold on. Let me see. My boy Connor in the building. What's up, man? You said most people I've ever seen in your chat. Congrats. Man, I appreciate it, dog. We just working, man. We trusting God. You said, blessings, brother. I did like this live. Cam gravitates to masculinity, masculine, effeminate. Dang, why I can't get that out? Femininity a lot. Y'all have a blessed night and watch and pray. Yes, sir, man. I appreciate you. Success rate, referring to what? All right, and then Reese said, he that findeth a wife. You know what I'm saying? Hold on now. Old super chat in the building. Thank you kindly. I will cut it off, but thank you so much for the super chat, sweetheart. Love you to life. He said, what was the purpose of what? Purpose of what? My bad. Dang. See, man, I must have got off track. Purpose of what? Man, some things are just us. All right. I can't believe I almost put that stupidity up there. I think you meant eat the meat, never the bones. Right on. Appreciate the show. All right. I appreciate y'all, man. I just wanted to get to, I ain't even realize I had a super chat. I missed one from my last show too. Thank you, Ms. Reese, once again. I appreciate y'all for tapping in with the live, man. Y'all have a great night. I really do appreciate y'all and I love y'all. Come back again. Thank you, Kylie. Say la.